Lyons has the ball.
He doesn't
probably
know.
still too long.
He doesn't know.
Too far out. He goes in the Winter direction from behind. Spills off hands. Purcell can win it here. He goes back to Winter. Couldn't quite take it though. They mucked around with the footy, Strathmore. There it goes into play. No one able to get on the end of it. It spills out towards Rose. He's tapping it towards the boundary line. There is the siren.
It's a draw.
Can you believe it?
Joining us now in the box is our Sporting Globe Player of the Day, winning a $40 voucher to spend at 690 Mount Alexander Road in Moonee Ponds, is the full forward who kicked 6 goals for Avondale Heights, Dean Galea. Dean, what a game. Tough not to win, but what were your feelings about the way your team played?
Yes, very. It's a hollow feeling, you could say. Not come away with the win. But the good thing is we restricted them to 9 goals. Last 3 weeks we've conceded over 100 points, so good thing was there's a lot of positives. We got back to our defensive best, how we're playing early in the year. So disappointing not to get the win, but 2 points is better than nothing. So we might see them in a few weeks, hopefully.
Dean, congratulations on your own game personally, and I don't know whether I can say the same about the result. You must feel a little bit disappointed not to get the win. 6 goals, and you looked really comfortable up forward. We saw against Aberfeldy that maybe the dynamic between you and Rose wasn't as good as we saw it today. I thought you guys really worked well in tandem today.
Yeah, we did. Obviously, there's a lot of reliance on the midfield. So without our midfield, basically we're non-existent. So the way we played today gave me and Rosie a fair bit of opportunity. We got isolated a lot. We're one-on-one. Last few weeks we've started to sort of build to try and get back to how we were early in the year, but I would have given away a few more goals to get a win on the board, but it's not to be. So 2 points is better than nothing.
You had a real impact inside your attacking 50, but also towards the end in the last 5-10 minutes, you had an impact up the ground and probably brought some physicality. Is that driven by Saade, or is that driven by yourself? Was that just your own decision to move up the ground?
It was probably my own decision because obviously it kept Paddy deep, and I tried to push up and obviously create a contest as another marking option. But yeah, I tend to drift up a little bit if I can. If the ball's not coming down there, I'll try and push myself up. But Saade was yelling out to get back, but I was pretty much buggered, so I couldn't get there. So yeah, it's probably my decision.
Does it get difficult up forward? Today you've kicked 10 goals as a team. 9 of them have gone between yourself and Paddy Rose. Are you sometimes looking for more from the other players, or was it just good to have the delivery inside 50 from the midfielders?
Oh, it's always good to have the delivery. Obviously, when it went me and Rosie's way today, next week it might be someone else's turn to bob up and kick a few. We try and get as many goal kickers as we want. Like I said, I'll give away a few more goals to someone else if we get the win on the board. Yeah. So yeah, it's good to kick a few goals, but we didn't get the result in the end.
And Campbell was on you for much of the day, but they also tried Robbie Douglas, a role that I didn't think he could play, playing as a tall defender rather than a running defender. I mean, do you take a great deal of notice of who your opponent is as they come to you one after the other, or do you generally focus on your own game and not really worry about who's being manned up on you?
I tend to focus on my own game, but going on last time, Campbell played on me and he did a pretty good job, so he probably got the better of me that game, so I wanted to sort of make amends, but I don't really pay too much attention to who goes to me. I just try and do my best for the team, and whoever it is, it is.
Adrian, have you got a question for Dean Galea?
Not really, just impressed by the way you went about things, and interesting, Strathmore in the first quarter tried to get the loose man, Ash Smith, and their ruckman down in front of both of you. Yep. Do you have, when that happens, do you just keep going hard at it and you can beat anyone, even 2-on-1?
Yeah, they did drop a few numbers early, but the good thing was our Arrow Smith, who was playing on Dilda-Britt just kept leading and just kept getting the ball. So if Dill keeps taking marks, Arrow Smith's going to eventually go to him. So yep. We're just trying to use the hit up as much as we possibly can. And then as the game went on, the midfielder started to win a fair bit of contested ball and started getting a fair few inside 50s, which got us the draw in the end.
Dean, congratulations on your performance. There's $40 to spend at the Sporting Globe in Moonee Ponds. If you can just hold it up and smile for the camera, please. A little bit higher. Beautiful. Just taking care of our fantastic sponsor. Thanks for joining us.
You.
And we'll see you in September.
Yep.
Dean Galea joining us there, and now the Avondale Heights coach Saade Ghazi is about to step into the hot seat after a 68 points apiece draw. A really sensational finish to the game, Saade. What are your overall feelings? Does it feel like a loss or a win?
No, look, we're pretty happy. So you just got to excuse my voice. I've lost my voice, but look, we're fairly happy at the end because it was a draw, but they probably had the ball in their forward line for the last couple of minutes. So I think if we were sitting here and it was a loss, we'd be pretty disappointed. So at the end of the day, it was a great contest by both teams, and to get a draw, I suppose that's the way it goes.
I want to ask about Dylan DeBritt and also young James Taverner. I thought both of them were sensational today, and that's my opinion as an outsider. How does that stack up against what they're giving you every single week? I guess they've looked like raw, young talls in previous times I've seen them, both last year and this year, but how did you assess their performance, and how are they actually tracking boosting your tall stocks as a team?
Oh, look, Dylan DeBritt was quite good last year. I thought he had a very good, solid year, and this year's been quite good. The one thing with Dylan is he won't get outmarked. He's got really good hands. He's probably not a great kick, but he presents really well. So we expect him to perform quite well every week. We need him, and James is an up and coming young kid who's going to be a very good player. So he moves really well. He's very athletic. Today I told him to go for his marks, and he was good. But we hope that he keeps improving because we do need him going forward.
Saade, we're starting to lose our voices as well. Dean mentioned that the emphasis was really on defence today. I thought that the back six did a really good job today, especially Tiller and Tanner. For me, what did you think of the team defensively today?
Oh, look, we believe, every week, our focus is obviously, when we have it and we can influence the play, we want to attack and try to score. But as a team, we need to defend better, for us to go, deep in September. And it's not just the back six. I think today the good thing was the mid group really helped the back six. We were quicker on the spread defensively, and that was a focus. So you don't want the ball going into your back six, too easy. Otherwise, no matter who they are. But having said that, I thought our back six were pretty good today.
Yeah, and obviously up forward, I mentioned to Dean that 9 of the 10 goals came from the two big forwards, or the two key forwards in Galea and Rose. Is that something that you take as a positive, or is that something that you maybe want to create more avenues to goal, or maybe not playing all your cards today?
Oh, no. I mean, you don't tell players not to go out there and kick goals. Yeah. We would have loved to get a couple from Josh Grabowski, and we always, hope to get 2 or 3. He's just under 2 a game. He kicked 3 last week, but none today, so that's disappointing for a half-forward flanker. I know Luke Cartelli got 1. We always expect him to get a couple. So we want our mids to get, 1 each maybe, our small forwards. So look, it's just the way it worked out today. But no, we wouldn't want that every week where, we're just dependent on Paddy and Dean to kick our score.
We thought the ruck battle between Byrne and Jones was compelling all day. How would you rate that? Do you feel as though Byrne maybe won the position or break even, or how would you assess his performance?
I thought Byrne was terrific around the ground. I thought he always is. I thought he took quite a few good marks. Jones probably maybe showed him with the tap outs. But look, I know some people say that, Avondale don't have a huge ruckman, but, one thing we do have is Nathan Byrne, who competes really well, and, going forward is really important because he can push forward, he's very agile and fit. So look, it's probably even contest. But no, I was really happy with Nathan Byrne's performance.
So do you have any cards left in the deck? When we see you in September at Windy Hill, will there be any changes to the game plan, or is what we saw today pretty much how you'll go into the final series?
Well, I hope we get there in September, but that's a long way away. We'll always, alter a few things. Do we play one back, an extra? I mean, I know, other sides are trying to put numbers in front of our forwards, but sometimes that may suit us. It makes it harder for Dean and Paddy, but it restricts the opposition from scoring as well.
But it's nice to have Dean and Paddy up there, isn't it?
That's what they're there for. Yep, that's why they're recruited, and Dean's a great competitive, beast, and Paddy's, as you can see, kicks that left foot goal as a snap. And they're still. I mean, look, the plan was, to get 150 between them and get us to first or second, and have a crack in that first final. And obviously you need everyone playing well that day, and that's the plan. Now it's an easy plan, but we'll see if that's going to work.
And Adrian.
We do overcomplicate things in football, don't we?
Coaches are the best at it. I try to keep it fairly basic. I don't go overboard with it. Obviously we have structures in place, etc., but they're not complicated. But the bottom line is you just got to outwork the opposition. We haven't done that. Look, from what I hear, Northern Saints have had a good win today. I knew our performance last week was pretty good because they played pretty well, Northern Saints, and I think a lot of people looked at the scoreboard and said, Jesus, Avondale are struggling. And I pick up the record Thursday night, and I think one person tipped us. So, a lot of people had given up on Avondale last week, and that's a fact. But we know that the side that's playing the best now is not going to win the flag. It's a side that keeps improving from this point. And, we've got a lot of improvement. We would need to improve on today's performance to have an impact in the finals. And I'm not sure where Strathmore are, but, we worry about us a little bit. But, look, we're in a good position. To be 12.5 from 15 wins is a good effort.
And just lastly, before we let you go, Cravino, how many more weeks until we see him back?
Well, tomorrow will be 5 weeks with the surgery, so we'll give him, so he gets x-rayed after 6, and then there's a chance that if the x-ray is good that he'll probably play, but I'm not going to rush him. I mean, he's already started running. He's a fit boy, he trains really hard, so I'm not going to have an issue, but, we will probably look to playing him, the Pascoe Vale game, possibly here, maybe a half, but only if it's 100%, but he'll definitely play against Kilo, I would say, unless there's a real complication with the actual, healing process, which we don't see that being an issue, but you never know, I guess.
Well, Saade, great to have your insight after the game. Congratulations on the result. Not a win, not a loss, but still just about security in the top 2 from here. So all the best in September, and we look forward to seeing your team again soon on EDFL Radio.
Thanks, guys.
Saade Ghazi, the Avondale Heights coach, joining us now. We will invite in Craig Clinnick, the Strathmore coach, who has also been good enough to join us here in the van at Canning Reserve. This is EDFL Review on Northwest FM 98.9 and streaming on the web via the EDFL Team app. And you can also hear it at northwestfm.org and essendondfl.teamapp.com. Craig Clinnick, the Strathmore coach, is with us now in the box. Craig, congratulations on the draw, but you must walk off feeling like your team was agonisingly close to snaring a 1-point win there with that scramble in the dying stages.
Yeah, look, I thought probably the last, it was probably 3 or 4 minutes. I think the ball didn't leave our forward 60. A little bit numb, I guess. Look, I thought we worked bravely and I thought courageously to get ourselves back in the game from 2 mini breaks that Avondale were able to get on us. Look, with that said, I suppose the draw's a fitting result for 2 sides that were 1 and 2 going in today's game, and probably one of us could have got done by a point. So, it's a draw, and we'll regroup during the week and get set for Airport West next week.
Before we talk more about the end, what happened after the first 2 goals in 7 minutes? Because we had it as, I think, 45 minutes of game time without a goal, and I think more than 20 minutes without a score. Was it just Avondale Heights working a bit harder, or did you have a structural breakdown somewhere which you identified that was then eradicated after half-time?
Oh, look, there's a few things. I think forward of the footy, our structure fell down a little bit at times, particularly in the second quarter. That's probably one key area. I think the other key area was, look, Avondale got numbers back pretty quickly most of the day today. If they didn't win it at the source, both their wingers peeled back. They had 1, if not 2, midfielders head back. Their ruckman was sort of playing centre back, to be fair, in the second quarter, whereas in the first quarter he was getting forward a little bit more. But we couldn't get our hands on the footy either. They were really taking us to task through the stoppages. So it's a combination of things that we had to reassess at half-time. And I thought, too, whenever we scored a point, and we scored a few of those today, their ability to get the ball out of our forward 50, they did it with ease against we had a zone set up that it's just too hard to defend on these bigger grounds. So, to be fair, we reassessed and restructured a little bit. Not so much personnel, probably more game style at half-time. And in the third quarter, we were able to really wrestle ourselves back into the game. And I think at three-quarter time we led, albeit in a pretty close game. And the last quarter, I thought was probably anyone's game, and I thought we'd run over the top of them. But to their credit, they hit back hard, and it was a draw. So.
Yeah, well, Craig, I thought, as you said, you restructured really well in that second half, and we saw Alex Grimer particularly come to the fore. But I want to talk about the defence and the defence around the ground. You must be really happy to restrict them to just 3 goal kickers today. So, obviously, moving forward, Galea goes down or Rose goes down, well then suddenly you've really restricted their avenues to goal. That must be really pleasing.
Oh look, I study the numbers. I guess the guys think I go a bit over the top, but I'm a statistical animal. And they got 2 guys with 55% of their year score, and they got 5 guys with 75% of their year score. And the 3 guys that are in the 75% all scored today. But our back 6. Their ability to win one-on-ones was first class. And even I praised the 2 guys that played on Galea and Rose. I mean, Glenn Campbell and Robbie Douglas. I thought they did great jobs. the ball goes inside forward 50 8 out of 10 times to either of those guys, so you're in a lot of one-on-one contests, and credit where credit's due. They're both quality players who hit the scoreboard inside forward 30 because they get a lot of ball. And with that said, I felt our midfielders supported the backs well. I thought our wingers supported the backs well, and I thought the backs won their fair share of one-on-ones, bar Galea and Rose's talent.
Guys, we're coming up to 5:30, so Adrian and Dave, one more question each. Adrian.
Stout was very good today. We got his name wrong. It was Stout, wasn't it? Stout, yeah. He played a good role. And I thought Heppel was very good. Heppel playing on who did you had him on? Cartelli. Was he playing as a tagging role, or was it just his halfback where he was lining up?
Not at all. Look, both those guys, Carl Stout and Aaron Heppel, are sponsored by Corporate Floors. I just thought I'd get that little plug in.
Very good.
They were. Heppel did not play a designated role at all. Heppel went to whoever the half forward was. Folds had to play on Grabowski. Another two key backs, obviously, I spoke about earlier in Campbell and Douglas had set roles. The others were disciplined over they were playing on. Carl Stout had an amazing impact, through the middle, on the wing, forward, deep back. So he played a terrific role through the midfield today, Carl. Very happy with his game.
And young Purcell, he played a real role in the second half for you guys.
Look, Mitch is you're talking about a guy first year out of under-18s. He's played every game in the seniors. He's done his first ever senior pre-season. He's played some massive roles for us this season. Today, had him on our wing for the first half. He did a lot of running, unrewarded running. And to be fair, most of the idea behind getting him into the forward 30 in the second half was more about trying to preserve his energy a little bit for later in the game to get him back onto the wing. But when he went there, he was so dangerous and had such an impact that I thought he was a guy that in the end could win us the game. So he played well.
Craig, stay with us. We'll ask you one more question off air for EDFL Web TV, but we've got to say goodbye to our Northwest FM listeners. It's 5:30. All the scores, if you missed them earlier, are up on the EDFL Facebook page, Essendon DFL, and also on the EDFL Twitter account, @EDFL Footy. We'll join you from 1 p.m. next Saturday on behalf of the call team. My name's Teo Pellizzeri, joined by Dave Kennedy, Adrian Jamieson, Adam Sarakoglu, Tamara Rocco, and Tony Lasco. We wish you farewell, and thank you to John Dozen back in the studio for putting us to air. We'll throw it back to Northwest FM. It's goodbye for now. We're still recording into here. Can we just ask you one more?
Yep.
So is it bring on September, or do you feel like there's a few things to iron out now before the finals start, or are you reasonably happy that yourselves and Avondale have given sort of an account of each other that left no cards against the chest, so to speak?
I think I've said both publicly and privately, at the start of the season, the objective was to make finals. You needed 12 wins to do that in my mind. So we banked our 12th win last week. We reassessed during the week and reset our goals, and that was then about finishing top two. Because contrary to popular opinion, it's never been about top two for us pre-winning our 12th game. That was always the objective. We're able to tick that off. Then today was really, we've only been in match of the day once this season, and that was Good Friday against Keilor. We had a poor 15 minutes and got beat. We were then the televised game against Avondale last time, and we got beat. So we come to this game, which was game of the round, again, really for the third opportunity we've had this year, and it was really important that we were able to make a statement, and we were really able to hold ourselves accountable for the result of the game. A draw is disappointing, obviously, for both clubs, but we walk away with 2 points. It's probably a fitting result in terms of how well the game was played. It's certainly not bring on September. We've got to put West next week, and we need 14 wins, look, maybe 13.5, but 14 wins from my viewpoint warrants top two. And we'll still need 2 more to have 14 wins. So it's certainly not a bad September for us just yet.